All right, how's it going, everybody? Hold on, okay, that should be better. All right, so I don't even have a name for this channel yet. I don't know what it'll be called. I'll probably think of something stupid. Anyways, I'm just making this video. This one will just kind of be about MEPS and kind of my experience at MEPS and kind of what you can expect. I know like there'll probably be some current sailors that'll watch this and be like, "Oh, he doesn't even know what he's talking about. He's a boot, blah blah blah." And you're pretty much right. I mean, I'm not even a boot. I'm literally just a future sailor at this point. I haven't even left for boot camp yet. I'm just recently sworn in. I still got a few months until my ship date, which is April 2020. But yeah, I'm not like claiming to be a sailor or anything. I'm still just a future sailor right now. I'm just kind of figured I would make these videos as I went through the process, kind of like one now, maybe a couple more about the DEP program, a video about the ASVAB maybe, and then after boot camp I'll make another one, and then A school and so on. Figured I would just kind of document the whole process because these were just kind of videos that I wish I had seen when I was going through the process, and I know there are some out there right now that are very informative. JT Suits, Nikki MDTV. They have a lot of really good content. I've watched a lot of their videos, many, like most of their videos probably, just trying to get acquainted with the whole process and everything. But there were like they've been in the military for a while or they've been out of it for a while, and I'm kind of fresh going through this experience. So I figured I would make these videos as I went along while it's still fresh in my brain, so I can give as much detail as possible and kind of just give another take on it, I guess. So in this video, I'll be talking about MEPS and kind of my experience with MEPS, and then kind of what future sailors could expect, or anyone going into any branch. It's all kind of the same throughout MEPS, I believe. Voice crack. Yeah, so I figured I'll just dive into it. So I actually went to MEPS twice. The first time I went was to take the ASVAB, and the second time was, to do my medical screening and then to swear in and sign my contract and everything. I'm not sure if that's how it works for everybody. I know like a lot of people I met had already gone to MEPS to take the ASVAB and then went again for medical. I'm not sure if there are people that do it both on the same day. I don't think so. I'm not sure. Feel free to let me know. But yeah, so the first time I went to MEPS was to take the ASVAB. I'd been in contact with my recruiter for a few weeks. We'd done a little bit of initial paperwork. I went into the recruiting office, took like a little pre-ASVAB test there, kind of see where I stood. So I went in. I remember I had to work the night before, um, and I was working at a movie theater at the time, and it was right when Avengers came out. So we were there from like, man, I got there like 5 p.m. and I was there until like around 4 a.m. And my recruiter wanted to leave the office at 6 a.m. To head on our way to MEPS and then take the test and everything. So I got off work around 4, which was really shitty, and I drove to the recruiting office. Got there at like 5, like a little bit before 5, like 4:30, 4:45, and slept in my car for about an hour. And then he pulled up in his truck. He said, "What's up?" I said, "What's up?" He said, "You feeling rested?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'll be good." So we hopped in the car that the recruiters drive, and we drove down to MEPS. And we got to MEPS, and I'll kind of talk more about how, like, the details of MEPS when I get into, when I went for the medical side of everything. But for now, I'll just kind of explain my initial story. So I went into MEPS, went through all the security and everything, got my badge, all that stuff. Sat down, and I was literally running off an hour's sleep. And there's like one TV that's playing. There was about 15 of us. I don't know. I didn't know at the time who was going for the Navy or who was going for the Army or Marines or anything like that. I remember being really tired, and I was sitting in that chair for probably about an hour. Sitting in that chair for probably about an hour, literally every few seconds, just drifting in and out of sleep. So my advice to you would probably get more than an hour's sleep before taking your ASVAB. Um, yeah, so after about an hour, they call up everyone taking the ASVAB, line up here. So we all got up, got into a line, and then they took us into a room. There's about, I don't know, 20, 25 computers just sitting there. And so we all got down and got at our own station, everything. They give you a couple pieces of paper, pencil, everything. Take the ASVAB. I'm not going to go into too much detail about the ASVAB in this video. I might make a video in the future about that. For if anybody's interested. I don't, at this point, I honestly don't know if this video will even get any views or anything, but I'm just making it because it's something I wish I had seen, so that's why I'm making it. So take the ASVAB, finish that up, go back into where those chairs are, and I'd been there for not even 2 hours, so it's probably like 8:30, 9. Still very early in the day, and they tell me, they're like, yeah, so there will be a lunch for you waiting in the cafeteria. It'll be available starting at like 10:30. And I was like, oh, I'll be out of here before then. My recruiter said he would pick me up. And they're like, yeah, okay. And so looking back, it's pretty funny. I had work again that night at 5, so I was like, I told my recruiter that. I was like, yeah, I got to get out of there like at a decent time because I have to, go to work and everything, and go home and get dressed and take a shower and stuff. And I was hoping that I would be able to go home and take a nap before work. So like I sit down, and I'm expecting my recruiter to be there like any minute. Like I thought he was just honestly gonna be waiting for me after I took the test to drive me home, but no. I sat there, stared at the clock, and I watched it just turn and turn and turn, hour by hour. Next thing you know, it's like noon, and I'm like, what the fuck? And you don't have your phone. They take your phone from you because you can't be on your phone at MEPS. So I was just like this is another reason why I'm making this video, is because I wish I had known this going into like when I went to go take my ASVAB, because I had no idea. Yeah, you're gonna be there all day. Every time you go to MEPS, you're gonna be there all day. So just plan around that. Make sure you're ready for that, because I was like getting anxious. I was like, what the fuck? Am I ever going to be able to leave here? Like, I have work tonight. All this crap. I'm like, damn, like I'm fucking stuck here. I can't leave. They literally won't let you leave until your recruiter comes to pick you up. Like, you can't just walk out the door. It's not like that. Anyways, I go and eat my lunch. I'm like, man, hopefully he's here soon. More time goes by. Next thing you know, it's 4 o'clock, and I finally get that notice. Like, I forgot what they called me, like recruit, like Navy recruit Galindo, maybe something like that. They finally call my name. I'm like, damn, my recruiter's finally here. And I was about to like yell at him. I was like, dude, you told me you were gonna be there like right after I took the test. Like I told you I had work, but I didn't. I saw him. And he's just like, hey man, sorry, we got slammed at the office. A bunch of people came in. I was just like, I mean, I waited out now. There's no use in getting mad about it. So anyways, he drives me back home, or he drives me back to the office, and then I had to literally drive straight to work without even, I haven't taken a shower since the night before. And then I was at work again until 4 the next day, so that was really fun. I think I went 36 hours straight of being up. Yeah, so that was my first experience at MEPS. Hopefully, if you see this video, you're a little bit more prepared for when you go to take your ASVAB and realize that you're going to be there all day. Yeah, so that was my initial experience at MEPS taking the ASVAB. If anyone's interested, let me know in the comments. I can make another video like solely about the ASVAB and how to prepare for it and everything, and how to do well. But anyways, a few weeks goes by, and then my recruiter's like, yeah, so we're going to get you down. What day are you free? We're going to get you down to medical at MEPS and do your medical screening and then sign your contract and everything. And I'm like, all right, great. Sounds good. I let him know what day I'm free, and then that day comes, and I'm like, telling my friends, I'm like, hey, I'll be at MEPS all day. I'm not gonna have my phone. And then I have a buddy who's in the Marines, and he's like, texts me, and he's like, dude, I didn't know you were swearing in today. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm not swearing in. I'm just doing my medical stuff. And he's like, when you go to take your medical stuff, like you're swearing in that day. And I'm like, what the fuck? I am? So I like called my recruiter and I'm like, am I swearing in today? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, what? Like, why have you not communicated this to me? Like, you told me I was just going to MEPS to do my medical stuff. You didn't say anything about swearing in. And he's like, oh yeah, that's what you do when you go to medical. Like, you do your medical screening and then sign your contract and swear in. And I'm like, it's like a few hours late before I'm supposed to get dropped off at the hotel. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to do it today. Like, I wanted to let my family know, make sure they can all be there, and it's not a good day for them, so it's not a good day for me. And he was not happy. He was not happy because they have to do a whole shit ton of paperwork, get your name on a bunch of lists, get you in ready for medical. So he was pretty mad, and rightfully so. But at the same time, I think he probably could have been a little more vocal, communicated better with me about what's going on at MEPS. So if you're seeing this video and you're unsure, when you go to MEPS to do your medical screening, you're swearing in that day and signing your contract. So just be ready for that. Prepare ahead. Let your family know. Make sure you're all squared away. Anyways, so some time goes by, and then I'm like, get my family on board and everything, so they all are in the loop and everything. So I tell my recruiter, yeah, this Friday works. Let's do it. So Thursday night, you're gonna meet up with your recruiter. He can give you a ride, or in my case, I had my dad drop me off at a hotel. So you'll get to this hotel, and there you'll kind of you'll sign in. There's like a whole room. I'm not sure if this is the case with every hotel that does it, but at mine it was the case. There's a little room. It was on the second floor. It was just a ping pong table, pool table, TVs, everything, and all the future sailors, future Marines, all the branches, all the people that were swearing in the next day and doing medical were there. Sign in. They give you, a little pamphlet. It's like a little brief on what to expect like the next day and that night and everything, and then a room key. And then you'll go to your room in the hotel. You'll have a roommate, and they're not necessarily going to be going into the same branch as you. They're most likely not going to be from the same recruiting station as you. It's just going to be some random person that you've never met. In my case, I got there at like 7:38, and my roommate was sleeping already. So I'm just like, fuck. Like, the room's dark. I can't be loud because this guy's sleeping. Voice crack. This guy's sleeping. Whatever. So I just went in the hallway. I made some phone calls to friends and everything to let them know. People I haven't talked to in a while. Anyways, so I believe we had to be up at 0500. So I went to bed probably around like 10:30, 11. Woke up at like 4. Took a shower, got dressed, got my bags and everything, headed downstairs, and we had breakfast ready for us at the hotel. All the future recruits and everything. We ate, went outside, lined up, got on a bus, and then the bus drove us straight to MEPS. And then when you get to MEPS, the bus will park outside. You'll get out. Everyone will line up in formation. One of the petty officers will give like a brief. I think ours was an army or an army sergeant, but it can be. I honestly am not sure. But anyways, so we go inside, and then when you first get in, it's going to be like kind of like a airport terminal, like security entrance. So we'll all line up. You all line up. You start taking out your stuff, putting it on like the little rack, so where it goes through the X-ray machine, and then you go through the metal detector, and then you get in. You'll go into your specific branches. Every branch has a room. You go into your specific branch's room. For my case, it was the Navy. Went in there, kind of line up in a circle, get everyone gathered, and then one of the petty officers, I'm not sure if he was a petty officer or if he was just a civilian. I think he was a petty officer. He kind of just said, handed out everyone's ID badge, just so they know your name, they know what branch you're going to, they know kind of your whole deal is kind of on this little ID badge. And then they'll give you a little folder with it has all your information, like everything you've told your recruiter, what job you're going into, what all your paperwork, your medical paperwork, and then there's like a big checklist on the front. So you take that big pamphlet and then you walk upstairs, and upstairs is like where they do all the medical screenings and everything. Like I said, this was just my MEPS. I'm not sure if other MEPS are structured differently, but ours was upstairs. So you go up there, you'll sit in this big room. There's a couple nurses walking around. They're the ones that are going to be doing all the screenings and everything. So you're in this big room with a bunch of desks lined up. Everyone will line up in order, and then slowly but surely, trust me, this is a long day. There's going to be a lot of waiting. So just make sure you're ready for that. So yeah, all these desks are all lined up. There's a TV on, and it's kind of just it's playing like what you're going to be doing that day. So there's one nurse. Everyone one by one row by row. Everyone gets up, gives your pamphlet to the nurse. She kind of like checks it off, says, "All right, go back to your desk," and you go back to your desk. We were in that room for probably like an hour and a half, and then same thing while you're in that room. A couple nurses come in. They have like the blood pressure machine, and they call you up one by one to check your blood pressure and make sure it's suitable and everything. And yeah, so that'll go by very slowly. So just be prepared to be sitting there for a while. Thankfully for us, they put on like Ridiculousness, the YaBoiDGal show. They put that on the TV, so you had a little something to watch to pass the time instead of just watching the instructions over and over again. So once you finish up there, you'll go into another room, and this will kind of be like the central room that you're in all day for your medical eval. The order I did it was got up first, went, and they check your eyes. You just do like a standard eye test that you do like whenever you go to get new glasses or anything like that, taking a physical. They also check for color blindness, so if you got good eyes, nothing to worry about there. The next room you'll go into will be a hearing test. So you go in there, there's like a little pod, there's like 8 headphones with curtains in between each station. So like there'll be 8 people in there, it's very quiet. You got to make sure you're not making any noise, like chewing gum, nothing like that. Then they'll do like the little hearing test. You'll press the clicker whenever you hear and all that stuff. So if your hearing's fine, you got nothing to worry about. Same thing. Go back into the central room. After that, you go and I don't remember exactly the order that you do everything, but I do kind of remember everything. So you'll get some blood drawn, and they'll use that to test for some stuff, HIV and whatnot, and other diseases and stuff. So you'll get your blood drawn. Then you'll go and you'll take a urine test. They're just testing for any drug. So if you haven't been smoking or anything like that, you'll be fine. Just make sure when you go in you have to pee, because they get very upset if you don't. They have like little cups that you pee into, and if you go in the room and then you decide you don't have to pee, well, they have to throw that cup away because it's been opened, so it's not good anymore, and that's just a waste of money for them. So they get pretty mad. And these are all civilians you're dealing with. These aren't people in the armed forces. So this is like their job. They do it every day, so they get mad if you kind of don't really do things the way they ask you to. So just make sure you have to pee. Then you'll go back in. For guys, I'm not sure about girls, but for guys, we had to go in with one of the doctors and get like your prostate checked and everything, and to get like a physical on all your goods to make sure there's nothing going on there, make sure you're all good. And then after that, you'll go in, you'll meet with like one of the main doctors. For me, I had shoulder surgery and knee surgery like a few years prior to me going to MEPS, so I had like a lot of paperwork. So when I met with the doctor, like we had a lot of stuff she had to check. And prior to going to MEPS, I also had to go to a few doctor's appointments, like get another clearance by them that I was able to do stuff for the Navy, that I was physically ready and fit and well enough to do that. So, she saw all that, she checked, she did all the same tests that my other doctors did and made sure I was good. And she said, she wrote on the paper, everything looks good. He's fully capable of of completing any task required for the military. But that being said, I still was disqualified, even though I had multiple doctors saying I was good to go. Still disqualified. It all depends on if the Navy accepts you or not. So in my case, like I was disqualified. I wasn't going to be able to swear in that day. I didn't realize that was coming, so I was like mad. I was like, damn, like I thought I was finally going to get to swear in today and get the whole ball rolling and everything. But thankfully, once and then after that, you're done. Oh, and there's also one more test. It's like a brain, neurological, and balance and all that stuff. They'll take you into a room. They'll make you like walk back and forth, hop back and forth, do different balance tests, make sure that you can do that stuff because that's pretty important. There was one guy that I was sitting next to. One, he smelled really bad. Like he definitely had not showered the day or the day before. But he literally was so unbalanced. Like he couldn't stand on one foot for 10 seconds. And like the the people were getting mad at him. They're like, dude, I'll have to fail you if you're not able to do this. I understand that, right? So when you're doing that, just listen to what they say, do your best, like just really focus. If it takes you longer, it takes you longer. Just focus and get it done. That's the best advice I can give you. But once you do all that stuff, it'll be like around 2 p.m. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1300, 1400. Yes, it takes a long time. Like I just explained it in probably 5 minutes, but it's going to take like 5 or 6 hours. So just be ready to sit there and not do anything for a lot of that time because most of the time you are just waiting. After that, you'll go back downstairs. My recruiter and then a couple of guys from my recruiting office were there. And it was really cool to see them. So I was just like, hey man, like yeah, I got disqualified. It's shitty. I didn't realize that was gonna happen. And then my recruiter was like, no, you're good. We're gonna send a fax to Big Navy and then they're gonna clear you. So I was like, oh fuck yeah, let's do it. Sounds good. So they sent that, and while we were waiting for that, you're gonna go back in that room, sit around, and then they're gonna call you up to sign your contract. So for me, it was the Navy. They say, uh, Navy recruit Galindo, please come to the Navy office. So you walk up there. They brought me in, bring you around to one of the cubicles, and then one of the Navy petty officers will be there. And he was sat me down, and he's like starts reading me my contract. And luckily or thankfully, it was the job that I agreed to, and it was everything good like that. And then so he'll start just page by page going through it. He'll show you all the details of your contract. He'll show you all the bonuses you're getting, if you're getting any. And then for each page, you'll just put your fingerprint down, sign it, all that good stuff. So that'll take like a little while, 30 minutes probably, to go through your whole contract and sign everything. Then you'll go into another room, and it's kind of like you kind of tell them who you want to like get all your stuff and be notified if you were to like die in action or anything like that, or during training or whatever. So you say who, you give them a phone number, and you sign, all set. Then you go back into the main room, and luckily for me, Big Navy got back to them that day and said, he's all cleared, he's ready to go, we can swear him in. So sat around for a little while. I believe I was like the last swear-in ceremony, so it was at like 4:30 p.m., 16:30. My dad and my sister came. My mom didn't want to because she didn't want me to join the Navy. But yeah, so they take you into another room. I believe it was an Army sergeant was in there, and he kind of told us, like he showed us very briefly how to stand at attention, break wrist, and everything like that. And then he said like how we're gonna walk into the swearing room, how we're gonna like what we're gonna say, and all that stuff. So we sat in there for a little while. He kind of told us, he asked us like what rates we're taking and stuff. We told him. He said very cool, blah blah. So the time comes, we walk in there, and then yeah, you go into the swearing room, you line up, and then I believe it was the guy that swore us in was an Army officer, I think. I believe so. He was an officer, so he kind of you put your hand up. He says some stuff, you repeat it. It's basically saying that you're gonna follow orders, like you swear to follow orders and everything like that. So yeah, that's all done with. You swear in, take pictures with your family, take a picture with your recruiter, and you're all done. For me, how did I get home? That's a good question. I think, yeah, since my dad was there, I was able to just go home with him. But if if your family's not able to be there, your petty or your recruiter will give you a ride. So I kind of went, yeah, that was pretty much my whole MEPS experience. I explained it pretty fast, but just understand that like the motto is hurry up and wait. It's like you're gonna be told to get things done quick and shit, but most of the time you're just gonna be waiting. You're just gonna be sitting there waiting to go up next. So before you go to MEPS, just make sure that you're prepared for that. Prepare to just be sitting around all day. Prepare to, like, you're not gonna have your phone or anything, so just be ready for that. Yeah, that's basically it. If you guys have any questions, I don't even know if anyone will see this video, but I don't have like an Instagram or Twitter for this account, for this channel set up or anything. So if you have any questions, just hit me up in the comments. I'll reply back to you as best I can. But yeah, it's my first video on this channel. I figured I'll make some more as I go. If you have any tips to improve the video quality or anything like that, let me know. But yeah, stay safe everyone, and I'll be back with another video soon. Peace.